Sure can. So it really comes down to the cultural connection. It's the familiarity of dealing with a person that you already know because they're already a part of your culture. They're still your people, regardless of whether you look down on them or not, or how you view their blackness as a negative, as a disadvantage. You still recognize that these are your people. There's the familiarity of the fact that you speak the same language, you share the same customs and traditions, you have a shared culture, you share the same religion, and that is very, very important. Whereas specifically when you're looking at a Latino father who is racist, and he's thinking about who is this black man that my daughter wants to be with, it's like, if it's not a black Latino man, then I'm not going to deal with this foreigner, this other black person that you've othered, right? I don't know who they are. I have an idea that I've really bought into about who you are as a people because of what I've seen, which we can blame on whitewash media. You know, of course, has been fed to Latin American countries for years. So a lot of Latinos, unless they've been able to educate themselves outside of what's being fed to them, unless they've had access to know and experience really the world outside of what they know, they come to America with an idea already, a stereotype in their mind already of who black people are, and specifically black men. So accepting a black man into their family, unless they are really able to educate themselves and break past those stereotypes and those lies, right? And just really have a good heart to say, why am I judging a person based on the color of their skin, or what ethnic group they come from? Why am I not treating this person according to the content, of their character? If none of those convictions are present, the default is just, as far as I'm concerned, your people are not good people, and you're already at a disadvantage because you're black, and I don't want that in my family. I don't want that coming into my family, whereas a black Latino man is like, okay, here's things that we can connect on. We can connect on this level. I know that I can trust you, and it's so many things that I witnessed just growing up, seeing people's thought process and the psyche behind it, because I could never understand. And I had these experiences, similar experiences, 2 times where I could tell you. I remember being 8 years old, and when my family first moved to Jersey, we lived in this house that was owned by a Dominican family. And they were so racist, so racist. And I remember their kids their black friends couldn't even come around the house. I remember this guy, I'll never forget him. His name was Lester. Lester was a really nice black, young teenager, glasses, just a nice kid, really. I remember being 8 years old, just remember, this is a really nice kid, he's cool, and he would just come around and say hi to the kids, the landlord's kids. And the father would come out and say, I don't want him around here. He's like, get out of here. He would just berate him. And the second time he came around, he literally almost chased him down the block. And he just spewed a bunch of racist slurs at him. And I couldn't understand, even at that age, it stuck out to me. How is it that we as Dominicans, we have our own black people? Why are you treating this person this way? And for me, it really stuck out because my dad was a black Dominican man. And until he opened his mouth, walking around in America, nobody knew. Nobody cared about his culture, the fact that he spoke Spanish. He was treated like a black man, And that's what would make the difference. It was once my dad opened his mouth, oh, you speak Spanish, you're one of us, So, that's just something that sticks out of my mind. It was a traumatic event for me because I couldn't understand why the hatred, And then a couple years ago, my family lived in this apartment where the landlords were Dominican, and The woman was a light-skinned, very, very fair-skinned Dominican woman. But her mother was a brown-skinned, she's a brown-skinned Dominican woman. Her and her daughter have completely different hair texture and completely different facial features. But this is her mother. And I remember just talking to her one time and sharing with her about how diversity of my ministry and how, we really just are a melting pot of different cultures. And, what binds us together is Christ. And that's how it should be. It's really just sharing each other's cultures with one another and knowing that what brings us together is really just the genuine love of Christ. And that's what caused us all to cross paths. And she's like, well, I get scared if like a black man comes around me. The other day there was a delivery guy came by. I wasn't ready for that. He came on the side door, and that really scared me. And I'm like, I don't understand. How does that scare you? Your mom's black. We have our own black people. And she's like, no, I know that, but they're our black people. I know them. I know who they are. They're a part of my culture. They're a part of my people. I don't feel the same way towards black Americans. So, there you have it. And I know that there's other cultures that feel this way. It's not, this is not limited to Latinos. I've heard other people have this same thought process. And this attitude is not just limited to black Americans. It's any other black people. When you look at the relationship between Dominicans and Haitians, Dominicans have the same attitude towards their own black Dominican men versus a Haitian black man. At the end of the day, they will choose that black Latino man any day over, forget it, over any other black person. The attitude is the same, So that's what it is.